Hello again. It's May 10th, and we're in John 6 today. And following up from what we had yesterday with the feeding of the 5,000, now Jesus gets in the boat and he's on the opposite shore. And the crowds catch up to him over there, and they realize that he is there. And so they ask him, when did you get here? And Jesus tells them he's actually seeing through them. He says, very truly, I tell you, you are looking for me, not because you saw the signs I performed, but because you ate the loaves and had your fill. Do not work for food that spoils, but for food that endures to eternal life, which the Son of Man will give you. For on him God the Father has placed a seal of approval. And then they ask him a question, which I think is a legitimate question. It's this: what must we do to do the works God requires? And Jesus answered, the work of God is this, to believe in the one he has sent. So their foundational need is faith, is understanding who he is, acceding to his teaching, um, believing the signs that have been given. They ask for one more sign. So they asked him, what sign then will you give that we may see it and believe you? What will you do? Our ancestors ate the manna in the wilderness, as it is written, he gave them bread from heaven to eat. So I think they're looking for another meal here in what they're saying to him. Now Jesus is going to tell them that he is the bread from heaven, and this is going to be hard for them to understand. Oh, what do you mean? We are looking for physical food. Why are you not giving that to us? Is what they're wondering. And he's giving them something, offering them something much more valuable than that, and it's eternal life. And that's what they're having a difficult time believing and understanding. He says at the end of that passage, "For my Father's will is that everyone who looks to the Son and believes in him shall have eternal life, and I will raise him up at the last day." At this the Jews began to grumble about him because he said, "I am the bread that came down from heaven." They said, "Is this not Jesus, the son of Joseph, whose father and mother we know? How can he now say, 'I came down from heaven'?" So there's, I think, some discord even between the religious authorities and the people in general. The religious authorities are trying to discount him and where he comes from, because he doesn't have the same pedigree that they expect for a Messiah, and he's not from down there in Judea as they are. And so he is suspect in their eyes, and they're trying to get that same kind of doubt out onto the crowds as well, trying to stir that up so that there's confusion about who Jesus actually is. And Jesus is trying to give them a very simple decision: believe because of my teaching and because of the miracles that you've already seen that testify to who I am. So there's a confrontation that's brewing here. And in the end, it's for each individual to decide what they were going to do with Jesus, but he's going to push them towards that decision, make them decide if they are after him just for the external physical things, or if they're after him for eternal things, which he offers them life